Hello, I'm Jeremy, and I'm getting back into the swing of things and then improving. I wanted to talk about this video that I found with Tim Pool talking about inflation because politicians don't care, they just spend money. Democrats increase it, Republicans do nothing and just sit there with their thumb up their butt. They're all worthless, feckless, mindless chumps who are just out looking to get money. And I'll have links in the description below for all of this stuff. The video with Tim Pool, we are closed trends as more photos of job walk-offs emerge. Biden's $4 trillion plan will destroy the economy. That is absolutely correct. Tim gets some things wrong, he gets some things right. Inflation is exactly it. And so this is inflation right here, this picture of this guy who has a wheelbarrow full of cash. This is runaway inflation. He's not worried about anybody stealing it. He's just walking down the street and nobody cares because it's worthless. It's not worth the paper that it's printed on. And that's the same thing with coins. It used to be like quarters and nickels and dimes were made of silver, but now they have very little silver in them. Some people actually will look for old coins, looking for the old ones that are still made out of solid silver because silver is worth more. So it's like a penny used to be made out of copper, but now copper is worth more than what that penny's made out of. So it's not just copper anymore. It has lesser metals that are in it to help keep the price of the penny down. And it's because if the penny was full copper, it would actually, I don't know what it is, it'd be like a nickel. So you could just go out and get pennies. You could get like a million pennies and melt them down for copper and get, if you got $1 million in pennies and then you melted it all down, you'd be able to get $5 million worth of copper. So you can't do that. Anyways, this is inflation. This has happened several places. Whenever I was in the army, I was stationed over there in Bitchute, Germany. I was deployed to Bosnia. I was also deployed to Poland. They had the same kind of thing going on where their economy was collapsing and they had two kinds of currencies to help fight it. They had kind of like their regular currency, which they were getting rid of, and then their new coins. It was, I guess, like with some of their coins, it had copper on the outside and then like nickel on the outside. It was kind of cool looking. And if you traded it in, it was, for example, if you traded in like $100, then you got like one of the new dollars to try to adjust for all this. Just ridiculous. So before we get into what inflation is and the video and all this, like, subscribe. I've got Patreon and Subscribe Star. Just keep in mind that I am not here trying to change anybody's mind about a damn thing. I'm here to try to show you that there are lies. I'm tired of it and I'm fed up with it. And I'm doing something about it and I'm not going to cry. If you have something that you disagree with, don't be a troll. Leave a comment so that I know, so that I might make a change later on. Maybe not, but if you don't ever say anything, you're giving me nothing to work off of. And it's the same thing for the people who like and subscribe as well. It's like, well, what do you like? Give me some feedback. Anything, it would help, because I can't read minds, obviously. And so as you can see over there in the corner, I have one of my word pads up. This is a new one. This is talking about inflation. I figured like this would be a good time to go ahead and do it. I've talked about this a little bit before with economics. And one of the first things that we always start off with is making sure that we have it defined as well as we possibly can at the time. And so in economics, inflation, or less frequently, it's also called price inflation, is a general rise in the price level of an economy over a period of time. When the general price level rises, each unit of currency, so each dollar or nickel or whatever, buys fewer goods and services. So we'll just stick with dollars. It's kind of easier to stand. So that means that your dollar is going to buy less. Consequently, inflation reflects a reduction in the purchasing power per unit of money. So it's kind of a rehash. A loss of real value in the medium exchange and unit of account within the economy. The opposite of inflation is deflation. A sustained decrease in a general price level of goods and services. A common measure of inflation is the inflation rate, the annualized percentage change in the general price index, usually the consumer price index over time. Economists believe that very high rates of inflation and hyperinflations are harmful and are caused by excessive growth of the money supplies. Views on which factors determine low to moderate rates of inflation are more varied. Low to moderate inflation may be attributed to factors in real demand for goods and services or changes in available supplies, such as during scarcities. So they're talking about how inflation can be caused because of a lack of the goods and services and not so much with the monetary. So it's not the dollar, it's not the currency that's causing the inflation, it's the lack of goods, it's the lack of services in that area, or whatever the case may be. Maybe there's been some kind of hack and the pipeline has gone down for some reason, and so now there's a lack of fuel. Why do we just talk about inflation? Why do we never talk about deflation? Isn't that what we want? Isn't that the goal? Why are we only getting one side of the coin? Inflation is when it takes a wheelbarrow full of money to go buy toilet paper or a loaf of bread. The opposite would be, I only need a nickel. For a nickel, I could buy 5 rolls of toilet paper or 5 loaves of bread. It's like, that's what we want, right? That's the direction we want to go in. An economy has never collapsed because of deflation. Not that I know of. I mean, if I'm wrong, let me know. Put it down in the comments. But I've never heard of such a case. I've never heard, oh yeah, I took my nickel and I bought a brand new Lamborghini with it. How's that economy going to collapse? It makes no sense. You want deflation in an economy. Whenever my dad, supposedly, for 2 nickels, for a dime, he could go, and when he was a little kid, little, he could go and he could get a burger, a drink, and either chips or a candy bar for a dime. Why does it cost more? We have more technology, more innovation, more machines that can do more than ever before. So why does it cost more? Here's an example. If you go to Walmart, they have self-checkout, where they have those, what do you call those stupid little things? Those, these self-checkouts right here. At the Walmart, at one of the Walmarts in my town, they've replaced, of course, some of the cash registers. They got rid of them, and so there's 2 north, 2 south, 2 north, 2 north, south, east, and west. And then there's 2 like regular checkout lanes, but instead of having a teller, you've got the self-checkout. And so that's 12. And they have that on each side of the store for both entrances. That's 24 of those things. So let's do a little bit of math. There's 24 hours in a day, times 7 days a week. That's 168 hours a week. And then we divide that by 40 hours for a work week. That's 4.2. So we'll just round it to 4 people working 40 hours a week. You have 4 people, and we'll say times $10 an hour. So that's 40 hours, or so we have 44 people working $10 an hour. That's $40 an hour. And then we multiply that by 168 hours for those people. That's $6,720 a week times, we're just going to do 50 hours. We're going to keep it simple. That's $336,000 a year for 1 year. I wonder how much. Costs $125,000. According to a study by MIT, a typical four lane. Okay, I don't know what they mean by lanes. Do they mean 4 machines in one little area? Do they mean the full lanes? Probably the full lanes. So $125,000. So you could do 2.5. If we had, we'll go with 125,000 times 4.6. It's costing $750,000 to do 12 of those. And then you divide that by 336,000. So in 2.5 years, they'll have enough money saved from the wages of those people to be able to afford these things. But it's less than that, because that's just the employee's wages. That includes absolutely nothing else. No 401k retirement, no vision, medical, dental, paid sick leave. They also get to fire human resource people because there's less lawsuits, there's less problems, because those people just aren't there. Like some kind of sexual charges, or somebody getting pissy with a customer or hitting a customer or whatever. It's all gone. You don't need as many people working human resource. Perhaps your legal fees also go down as well. They don't ever have to worry about dropping off the kids, picking them up, spouses, getting sick, getting in an accident, running late, nothing. These machines are always there. So roughly in about 2 years, give or take, I would say less, that Walmart has paid for all of these things. They've paid for all 24 of them. So that should mean that the prices have gone down because they're paying less. Their costs have gone down because of innovation and technology. Why hasn't this continued to happen? Why doesn't this happen with... Why has burgers and fries and a drink gone up in price then? We have better motors for better engines. Our refrigeration is better. Our transportation times, our vehicles, our trucks can move faster so we can get things sooner than ever before. There's no reason for it to go up. Until you take a look at the government. How do you make things go up? Get the government involved. Well, let's increase taxes. Let's increase the budget spending. Let's create new bureaus. Let's just do more and more and more and more. It's like there's no end to it. You can keep driving it up. But there is a limit to how far down you can go. And that is whenever you can buy the bread or toilet paper and it's free. Or, what, if you want to be technical, I guess maybe there would still be like 1 penny cost. It will be free at some point in time, because someday we'll have robots. And robots will do all the work. They'll be able to repair each other. They'll be able to build new ones from scratch. They'll take care of it all. That's where we're going to end up at some point in time. Is it going to happen during anybody's lifetime? I don't know. I can't say. But that's where it's going to happen sometime. Why aren't we seeing the effects of it now? Whenever you increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour, what happens? Nothing. The poor people have just stayed poor. For everyone else, nothing's changed. If you're working a minimum wage job and it's $7.25 an hour, and then you get bumped up to $15 an hour. Nothing's changed. Say you could give every single person $1 million. What do you think is going to happen? You think everybody's going to quit their job? Oh, I'm working as a cashier. I'm getting $10 an hour. I just got $1 million. I'm not going to work anymore. I've got $1 million. It's like, no, that's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is that dollar store is going to change its name to the $1 million store, because $1 million is worth nothing. That's exactly what this picture is right here. He doesn't have $1 million. He has $1. He's going to go buy a loaf of bread. He's going to buy a roll of toilet paper. It's worthless. There's this older movie now called The Incredibles. And that's what the big villain is doing. He's getting rid of all the superheroes. He's inventing these ways to make people super because...
And when I'm old and I've had my fun, I'll sell my inventions so that everyone can be superheroes. Everyone can be super.
Whenever everybody is rich and everyone can be a millionaire.
And when everyone's super, no one will be.
That's it, right there. If everybody was a millionaire, who's really rich? Absolutely nobody. Superman. We'll use a pop culture reference. He's only super because he's on Earth. If Krypton was still around and he was back there, he'd just be another guy. It's just another person. It's just, you're nothing. Oh, you can fly? Well, yeah, so can I. Oh, you have heat vision? Yeah, so do I. Oh, you have super strength? Yeah, so do I. In real world terms, adults are super people compared to babies. But you get the gist of it. If you don't, then I don't have any time for you. I don't know what to tell you, because it's obvious. We're super people to babies. We're super strong. We're super fast. We can do all these amazing things that babies can't. But at some point in time, that baby's going to grow up and he's going to be like the rest of us. They're going to be able to hold their ground. They're going to be able to do a lot more. It's the exact same thing. If everybody was a millionaire, if everybody was the same, nobody would be rich. The only people who would really hurt from this are the people who don't have anything at all. So if you have a job and it's paying $1 million an hour and that's the minimum wage, great for you, I guess. Absolutely horrible for everyone else who doesn't have a job. It does them no good. It's a way that you've made them poorer. Because now you need $1 million to go buy that toilet paper. How are you going to do that? If it's just a penny, well, you can find a penny just laying on the street sometimes. The government has no business regulating the economy. Joe Biden's plan of $4 trillion and raising minimum wage and all this stuff is not going to help anybody. It's just like, okay, well, they did that before where they gave, like $2,000 to everybody one time. It's like, what are you supposed to do with that? Everything is going up. The answer is not politicians, it's not the government. And what we need is a separate system so that it cannot be manipulated and controlled by corrupt individuals. And that's exactly what all these people are, every last one of them. I don't care who they are. If you disagree, then go ahead and leave a comment down below as to why. I don't like trolls. I don't like that people just get to do things without being held accountable. It's like, if you want to say and do something, it's like, knock yourself out. But give a reason. I'm tired of it. Tim does a really good job, though, of pointing out the lies going on. So here is the New York Times where he's talking about it, that inflation is here. And just before, he was talking about how No inflation problem after rake hikes, comments Royal Wall Street. The government lying about it, and they fact checked it and all this stuff. And there's trending that we are closed. Steven Crowder is one of them. That's trending. Trending is filled with entitled crybabies. There's a greater job surplus than at any point in modern American history. I don't know about that. A huge portion of which may pay far more than $15 an hour. If you're thinking that plumbing, welding, and carpentry is beneath you, you get nothing. It's like, that's right. I don't know why people think that the only way to get a good job is by going to college. I don't understand that at all. There's always been multiple ways to be able to go out there and to get an earning and well beyond minimum wage. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, I don't think any of them completed college. I think they went there long enough, if I remember the stories correctly. They went there long enough to learn the skill, whatever it is that they wanted to do, and then they said screw it, and they left, and they started up their own business. I bet most of them, though, have like an honorary degree, though, where they were invited to Yale or Harvard or whatever, and they're like, we're going to give you a degree because of the amazing things that you've done. It's like they didn't do anything amazing. They stole. What if we didn't have $15 an hour? What if it went the other way? Whenever you have $15 an hour, that means every single thing that you're buying goes up. So this cup, to get the metal out of the ground, you have to pay the miners a minimum wage of $15 an hour. If their supervisors were making $15 an hour and the minimum wage was $7.25, the supervisors are still going to say, I'm not doing this management job for the same as a minimum wage worker. I was earning double. You can get me double now, or I'm going to go somewhere else. So all those miners, in order to make that $15 an hour, their costs for those employees have doubled. And then whenever they put it on the trucks or the trains, whatever mode of transportation that they choose, it's the same thing with their workers. And then it gets hauled off to a refinery, and they take all the impurities out to make copper or brass or bronze or steel or whatever. All the workers at that factory, same thing. All their costs have gone up because the wages of the employees have gone up. And then it gets transported again. And it might go from a refinery to a factory where they're making the cups. And then again it gets transported, and so that's another cost, and it's gone up again. And it ends up on a shelf at some store somewhere, and all those people working at the store, same thing. And so now the cup has gone up. Simple little thing. Imagine if you were doing a computer or some kind of electronics and all the parts and components in it. It's not just that. The miners, with their equipment, well, their equipment just didn't fall out of the sky. They have to buy it. So somebody made that, which means that their workers, their wages went up. They need new drill bits, screws, wiring, all the equipment that they use. Their safety hats, their gloves, everything's gone up. The clothes that they wear, everything has gone up. The fuel, the electricity, everything has gone up. Why are we pushing things up? It's clown world. It's backwards. It's what can we do to drive prices down? What can we do to have deflation? Why do we never, ever talk about it? Inflation helps if you're rich, if you have power, if you have control. I don't want any of that crap. You know what I want to do? I want to live a life without materialism, without having to stay up late at night wondering how things are going to budget. Who wants to do that? I would rather focus on my friends, my family, and doing barbecues and enjoying the holidays, fireworks and Christmas lights and Easter egg hunts and Halloween decorations and costumes and all the other billions of things that you can enjoy in life. I don't want to be a slave to mindless drivel work all the time because everything is so damn expensive. So inflation is something that we're definitely going to be talking more about right now. Just kind of getting the general idea behind inflation. I think it's good enough for right now, and then we'll kind of go over it a little bit more whenever it comes up again, and we'll start filling the rest of this stuff out with studies, facts, questions, occurrences. So like Venezuela could go in there. I'll try to bring in links from economists talking about all this, because it's not about taking my word on it. It's not about me trying to change your mind. It's just trying to show that we have answers to this stuff, and we are not engaged in them at all. And I'm fed up with this crap. And if you're fed up too of the lying and the manipulation and being screwed over all the time, this is it. Because I'm going to give as much power as I possibly can to people. So I don't want to go any further into all that. But anyways, I think this is a good time to go ahead and quit. This is 25 minutes, way too long, but oh well. So give it a thumbs up and the like if you understand what I'm talking about and you're fed up with being lied to. You're ready to have things be easier, then subscribe. I've got Patreon and Subscribe Star. Nothing's going to stop me with this, because I don't trust the government or the politicians. They can all go jump off a bridge for all I care. So thanks a lot for watching. We'll catch you later. Bye.